Woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. I really stuck a hornet's nest a couple of weeks ago. I did the perfect little bowl, a little Coca-Cola bowl, and I heard from a lot of you guys that kind of a niche, got a little something going with you and you want to go out and turn something. Let me tell you, that perfect little bowl is a perfect little gift, and the holidays are coming up. People, don't forget that. But by the way, we don't need to have your name in letters that big across the bottom. It's small. Make them look for it. Okay. I get mail. I get all kinds of stuff in the mail. But I got to tell you, Tom Sell out of Bromall, Pennsylvania, really beat the rest of you. Man, I mean, you ain't got a chance now. Because Tom's a nut. Tom's a real nut. And he sent me a nut. Tom sent me something and he said, fellas of my age, don't know what he meant by that, should keep aspirin handy. It's the thing to take to dilate your blood and help you if you're having a heart attack. You know, that lady on television tells me that every couple of nights when I'm watching Murder, She Wrote. That, it's my favorite program, Miss Angela. But I never thought about how to carry it. You can't keep things in your pocket. They get smushed and crushed. And I mean, last month I left the vitamin in my, never mind, you don't want to know. It's just terrible. Well, Tom came up with this. It's an acorn. And he said, from one nut to another. It's a little package or a little box to keep your aspirin in. I'll do a little close-up on it so you can see it. But this is a nifty little idea. And we'll do a little bitty project on it. It's something you can do and give it to somebody of age that you care about, or put one in your own pants pocket and have a little fun with it. And it's just the right size to have a little fun with. Color it up, put a little finish on it and all that. So Tom, that's Tom Sell out of Bromall, Pennsylvania. Tom, I really appreciate it, bud. From one nut to another, I really do like it. Now, I said put a little finish on it. What I started a couple of weeks ago was a project, and I picked up a squirt bottle of Deft and said, I'm going to put this Deft on the finish. Well, you international guys don't know what Deft is. Well, a lot of you wood turners didn't catch on what Deft is. Deft is a wood finish. Now, I go over to Lowe's to get my Deft. It is a lacquer-based furniture finish. It's they call it brushing lacquer. Now, I went to the website from Deft and I called up the details. This is an interior clear wood finish, and you can go to www. Here it is. Look, deftfinishes.com. And you can get the fact sheet yourself. And it tells you all about Deft, and it was created in 1953 in a Los Angeles paint store. We won't hold that against it. By the paint store owner Bill Sy and Frank Desmond. And it's just, they created it just because shellac and varnish took too long to cure. So they came up with a really nice product, and you can get all the facts and everything and read about it at this website right here. But let me just tell you about it. I've been using it for 8 or 9 years now, and I used it on furniture when I was building furniture. So I've got 3 cans of Deft in the shop. This is a clear wood finish satin. Very low gloss, very, very low gloss. It's perfect when you need something the wood to come through, the grain and the texture and all to come through. Or if the texture is not that great, you don't accent a bad texture on a piece, you want a matte or a satin finish. They have one like that. But then they have a clear wood finish, which is high gloss. Now this is nice too, but it does, as it says, have a high gloss, and it's really a nice piece, a nice material. puts a great shine on a piece. It's also a good basis to put wax over when you get done. But remember, unless it's a hard wax, that wax is going to dull a little bit in the finish. So you can just build up the depth and you can be there. Now, build up the depth is another one. You need to build this product up. This product is a brushing lacquer. It's almost useless on wood without a sealer of some sort. They have a sanding sealer. Yes. Now, this isn't as good as the old DeVoe Wonder Wood sealer, because that stuff was awesome. But this is by the product. It dries in about 15-20 minutes. If you put it on a lathe, you can probably lathe spin it, buff it back out, and put the depth over top of it in 5-10 minutes at tops. You need the sealer to put enough heavies or solids to seal the pores before you put the finish on, or the finish will stand on the highs and soak into the lows, and you will get that uneven finish that we've been talking about. Your finish has to be uniform and even, and that includes the soaking, the absorption rate, and all that of a finish. All right. How much can you use on this, and when can you do it? Once you have it sealed and you start adding the depth, you can add coats about every 3 or 4 minutes. Really. On a large piece, you can spray from one end to the other, and when you come back and spray it again and put the wet coat on, it's ready for the wet coat. You go too quick, it's going to get a little milky and take a while to cure. Not dry, cure. Because lacquer cures. I did say spray. All 3 cans say this is not a sprayable product, but it's available in an aerosol. When I saw that the exact same formulation's available in an aerosol, it told me that spraying's not good, because if you don't cut it properly and use it properly, you're probably not going to atomize it and get it even, the vehicle, etc. That's why they don't recommend the spraying. They can't give you a good technique that you and I can do, so they say no, which is good business. I cut it, no matter how I'm going to use it, I cut it 50-50. 50-50 with good old-fashioned lacquer thinner. Yes, lacquer thinner. I have these bottles. Where is it at? I get these bottles from Harbor Freight, and they hold about 8 ounces, and I'll put about 3 ounces in it and then add 3 more ounces. Now, that's if I got a big project. If not, I'm chintzy. I'll put about 2 ounces and 2 ounces. Why? Because the lacquer thinner will come through this. It will escape this bottle, both while you have it open working with it and while it's setting up. You'll notice the bottle crunch down. Well, what do you think that? Yeah, that's the vapor on the inside escaping and the bottle compressing or being sucked in. So, don't mix too much. But if you do have to mix it, put it in a mason jar with a sealed cap on it. Yeah, they still make mason jars. I get them at Winn-Dixie or Piggly Wiggly. Right. So you've blended it 50-50. Now, if it's in this bottle and you start using it, it feels a little thick, add a little more thinner to it. Just a little bit more. Loosen it up a little bit. I do the same thing with the shine juice, which is the shellac and the blow and denatured alcohol. When it looks like it's getting a little thicker, add a little more denatured alcohol. That's the blow, the shine juice. All right. But this product, this is thin by Lacquer Thinner. Forget what a minute. This is Lacquer Thinner. It's a brushing lacquer. If you thin it with mineral spirits, it's trash. Clean all your stuff and throw it away, because it ain't any good. Don't thin it with any of those miracle drugs that are out there that say you can thin this and thin that, and the MEKs. Nothing. Lacquer Thinner. Now, I like it in this little squeeze bottle, and as you see, when I picked it up, it was clear. Now it's a little milky. This is the sealer, and I have another one. You can easily tell them apart because the other one won't be milky, and it is the finish. So, deft. It's a product worth checking out. You can read all about it at this website, Def Finishes, and I think you'll like it. Now, how does it compare food base? Is that going to be food safe to put on a bowl? Almost every finish available that you can buy in America that you put on wood does not contain lead. If you get it from China, all bets off. Does not contain lead and is food safe. But if you're doing a bowl and you're going to eat out of it, why do you want to use a chemical-based finish? Just think about that a minute ago. I'm going to be taking my spaghetti and meatballs, yeah, I'm Italian, okay? And taking it out of there, and the fork is going to make contact with that finish and that wood, and I'm going to scrape it. I don't want to eat that stuff. I want my meatballs. I want it pure. Okay? You know what I should do? I should use a pure finish, like walnut oil or one of the other oil finishes. Where do I get the walnut oil? I go to Whole Food Company, and they got this great sandwich. Yeah. We may have to cut this short. I use a walnut oil. It takes longer to dry, but I've also used other oils. A pure oil product will cure up, calcify, and make a nice finish. They take a little longer, but hey, are you making this right away to eat out of it in 10 minutes? No. But any other finish, wait about 3 days for the VOCs and all the other chemicals to bleed off, and it's still there. But you still have the finish, and you will scratch it. With the walnut oil, suppose you scratch it. Oh, yeah, don't put it in the dishwasher. Suppose you scratch it. You wash it, you dry it, you put a coat of walnut oil on it, and you put it in the cabinet and let it cure. Yeah, that simple. And that's a food safe finish. Why? Because you eat walnut oil every time you eat walnuts. Walnut oil. Think about the guy that's going to milk those walnuts to get that oil. Man, that's a hell of a job. Okay, now we've talked about Deft. Okay. And food safe finishes. And I told you about Shine Juice, but Shine Juice is a formulation, I call it OB Shine Juice after OB Lacoste, one of the world's greatest wood turners and a great dear friend of mine. I'll give you the formula. You send me an email saying, send me the tips. I'll send you the stuff, okay? And I got all kinds of tips in this tip. So it's like 40 pages long. You go through and throw away the stuff you don't want, but it's got some great stuff that you and other turners have shared with me. So I put them in there. Just like Tim with the nut. I got my nut. Yeah. Whew. Man, I almost used an old acronym saying I dropped the nut. But just like this, you guys are great. You send me all kinds of stuff. And you call whenever you call. Hey, we got time, we talk. If you got a problem, you give me a call. I'm one of the few people that actually do this. See that? That's my personal pocket telephone number. That one's in my pocket. If I'm awake, that phone's on. If I'm awake and you call that phone, I'll take an order if you want to buy cutters, bars, the template, like Zilla plans and all that stuff. If I'm awake and that thing rings, I take it. And, you know, there are no business hours. Let me take a little sidetrack here. Big Eye Productions, this cutter business, was a happenstance. We got into it. We figured out that we, my dear wife Cindy and I, who I refer to as management and I, figured out we can buy these cutters and sell them to wood turners at about 1/3 of what they're regularly paying for these cutters. So I can help you out, and I can make a few bucks myself. And honestly, this is a project for the wife. I make up parts and give them to her. She handles all shipping, all receiving, all the orders and everything like that. She handles it. She's very organized. That's what she does. She just tells me what I have to do. It's a little cottage industry, and it's a fun little thing for us. I've just discovered that my round 18mm cutter, I sell 3 of them for the price that somebody else sells 1. And I've got high quality equipment. Not chew-key stuff. It's not a chunk of steel to look like it. It's carbide cutters. If you're interested, go to my website, www.eddiecastelin.com. We're not very creative here. That's as basic as it gets. or drop me a note at eddiecastelin@cogs.net, or call me at this phone number, and they wouldn't give me letters that spelled Eddie Castellan. Well, they did, but you'd be dialing for like 3 days. Okay, so I think that's what we had to cover today. Oh no, wait. My real job is I'm with a very large architectural firm, and I'm the construction administrator, which is actually the guy that checks to make sure the contractors build it the way that we draw it and meets the specs and all that. We do a lot of public work. So, and I worked for a guy. The guy that hired me was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He's one of the 6% of Americans that have beat pancreatic cancer. He's doing well. But pancreatic cancer is a problem that takes a lot of our friends. It really does. Lost a lot of good wood turners to it. I'm really sorry about it. But we're raising a little money for it, so this is a bowl I just turned out of cypress. The ribbons for pancreatic cancer are burned in and then colored with transparent paint. And I've got a couple other colors on it. You can do the same thing? You create a piece of art just about like this or anything else, and find your local cancer society and ask them if they'd like to have a great piece of wood art for them to auction at their next function. Yeah. See, you can help too. Yeah. So, I got to get a finish on this. What do you think I'm going to use? Already, I used the sealer on the purple on the inside so I could put the Frisk on it to seal and paint the rest, and then I put a coat of sealer on the inside so I could handle it while I flipped it over and did the finishes on the outside. I'm going to warm it a little bit more to take the moisture out of it, because it is a water-based thing. And then again with the deft sealer sprayed, buff it a little bit, take the spots out like sanding sealer, and then some finish on it. And I really do think that this may want a softer finish than the gloss, so we may go a satin finish on this. Oh yeah, by the way, no bottom. It's made to get your attention, not to be used. Hey, I hope I got your attention. I hope you get out and shop this weekend and make a few shavings. It's the beginning of October this week, and I've got that fantastic sale on cutters that lasts through November. So if you need cutters, check out my website. Give us a call. If you need help, fear not. I am here. Call me. But only when I'm awake. All right. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I've been making shavings. Hope you have too. You take care now. I really do like that color combination. Don't you? He's one of the 6% in the nation to beat it. That Brit I work for is a really hard guy, man.